So hello everyone, this is our Rise Challenge proposal brought to you by myself and Theo Johnson. Our adult sponsor and helping head with Solidarity Gardens initiatives is Fiona Monroe. Today we'll be giving a condensed version of our proposal, though you're free to follow this link on the screen to look more in depth about our slides at your convenience. So an introduction about our proposal. Seeing many classmates go home hungry, Theo and I wondered how can we address food insecurities within our community. For us, after much thought, the solution became clear, supporting the expansion of community gardens that grow food for charity. And yet we realized a potential caveat. Growing food for charity was often disrupted by natural hazards, specifically severe weather. Addressing this issue, we hope to improve and expand infrastructure such as sheds and greenhouses to support the germination of seeds indoors, store gardening supplies, and protect our harvested food. So our community of focus is our local Urbana Champaign, which contains healthy soil for farming, a plus. However, on the downside, heavy thunderstorms and all types of thunderstorms really disrupt our farmlands. The result is lower yield for harvest, which can lead to lower distribution of food within our community. So specifically focusing in on severe weather as our chosen natural hazard, we emphasize severe thunderstorms as having caused 860 annual reports of wind damage and large hail. Tornadoes 63 in number alone during the 2020 year in Illinois, goes to show how prevalent these severe weathers are within our local community. We learned of this through IEMA's inventories and severe weather guide, which all can contribute towards threatening our gardens and resulting in a shortage of food. So why are establishing and maintaining community gardens so important? About 1 in 6 people within our community struggle to put food on the table, as the infographic to the right shows. And this number is even further exacerbated during times of crisis. And so community gardens, we find, is a way to combat such food insecurity within our community. Volunteers come together to harvest farmland and to provide food in an affordable and accessible manner. Moreover, by interacting with our local food shelters, the Illinois Food Shelter, and local school districts, we hope to be able to also advocate for better food storing practices and encouraging the reduction of food waste as a means to address, as another avenue to address food insecurity. With our gardens, to be able to continue having them as another support system for food insecurity, we need your help to be able to raise funds that encourage the growth of crops that can withstand the effects of severe weather, to be able to have that as a resource for our community on a daily and especially during disaster situations. And so are gardens really the solution? Well, looking at the infographic to the right, we see that the majority of Americans prefer eating fruits and vegetables, and well, seeing how gardens grow just that, to a certain extent, yes, they do meet the needs of all who wish to eat such foods. And so I'll pass it on to Theo, talking a little bit more about current gardens in our city.
Thanks, Banan. So some of the gardens that are currently in our city include Sola Gratia Farms, which is a large farm run by both volunteers and workers and paid workers who supply about 30% of their annual produce to charity, specifically to our local food bank. They also include gardens like the Randolph Street Community Garden and the Learman Neighborhood Community Garden that are run entirely by volunteers and provide food to the neighborhoods where they're located. Recently, Sola Gratia, along with other organizations, including some local government affiliated organizations, developed a program known as Solidarity Gardens, which our mentor Fiona Monroe helps run. These are modeled on the victory gardens of the World War II era, and it has two components. For one thing, they work to expand central gardens where many people from around the community can come to help grow food to provide to those in need. And also, Solidarity Gardens supplies resources like pots and seeds and education to those who wish to grow their own gardens at home. And on the left is Randolph Street Community Garden. As you can see, they have a lot of volunteers and they make a big impact on providing fresh produce to their community. And Sola Gratia Farms, wide variety of produce on the right. So each person eats about 1 ton of food a year, and Sola Gratia only produces about 7 tons of food a year. So clearly there's not, and they're the largest community or charitable garden organization in our community. So clearly gardens are not an end-all be-all solution for food insecurity. There are many ways that food insecurity can and should be combated, including through federal and local and state food aid programs and various policies to ensure each person has the resources to buy enough food. But gardens can help, particularly because getting food to those who need it is a meal by meal process reliant on a lot of community connections, and also because, as Benan was mentioning earlier, surveys show that Americans really want to eat fresh fruits and vegetables, and these gardens are often located in neighborhoods that are food deserts where there are not enough supermarkets, and so these can be a big help in providing fresh fruits and vegetables. And as community gardener Ron Finley demonstrates in his work, gardening isn't only a way to provide food, but also a way to bring communities together, to pursue social justice and to pursue other community initiatives, as well as a way to educate people about gardening so that they can start their own gardens at home. And here's one of the gardening plots of Solidarity Gardens. They have a lot of plots around the city, and they are working to expand those plots. They're only about a year old, and they need more resources in order to expand and provide more food to the community. And I was surprised when we started working on this to learn how expensive gardening can be. Sola Gratia is probably the biggest of these gardens that we're talking about, but it's only about a 12-acre farm, and they still spent more than $16,000 on equipment purchases and replacement, almost $30,000 on general operations last year. So gardens need a lot of resources to really be efficient and to get a lot of food out into the community.
So our proposed solution is based on last year. A hailstorm hit Solia Gratia and damaged many crops, but their up-to-date organization and infrastructure allowed Solia Gratia to harvest and distribute damaged crops despite this. In order for Solidarity Gardens to do the same in the future, we need to expand our infrastructure. Thinking of such a way, Theo and I thought of an idea of a shed to be able to prevent vulnerable seedlings from being blown away by intense winds, providing a safe place for early germination, protect gardening tools from rusting, and most importantly, house our fresh foods in a safe manner. Talking with our advisor and helping lead the Solidarity Gardens initiatives, Fiona Monroe, she was very optimistic and encouraging about this idea to be able to address such situation with severe weather. And to construct this shed, we'd need funds to be able to support this. We need just around $400 to be able to have support needed to help Meadowbrook Park flourish as serving our community during times of need and during daily life and during natural and emergency disaster situations. And so right here is a stock picture of our shed, and this is how we envision it to be, though we are flexible to other options that you may have. And included in it are all the supplies that we would also need with our gardens, shovels and all of that. So our sword budget. So going a little further, because of course we need something to put our sheds in, right? So being able to have the tools to be able to support the growth of our gardens costs right around $400. Everything from shovels to water sprayers, compost costing about $50, and pots, seeds, starting supplies, recording supplies all go into making our garden an um, effective way to address food insecurities within our community, efficiently providing food to all those who need it. And so our conclusion is, as emergency and disaster situations, severe thunderstorms are always a matter of when, not if. Especially here in Illinois, being prepared for them means having the necessary supplies for food. Focusing on food inequality, we aim to ensure the underserved within our community have what it takes to survive and endure these crisis situations. And so community gardens, we believe, play a role in that work, being able to provide food for our communities during daily life and also times of need. With your support, we can be able to do exactly that, expanding and making more efficient our community gardens to serve all. And here is our references, and we're excited. Please feel free to look into them further at your own convenience. We thank you so much for your time, and we hope you learned something.
Yeah, thank you so much again for listening to our presentation. And just to remind you again, as Benan said earlier, this is a pretty condensed version of our presentation, so you're welcome to read all these slides in more detail at the link on the screen. Yeah, thank you again. Have a great day.